All right, by popular demand, we're making a tutorial on how to NVClean install strip a GPU driver from NVIDIA. In this case, the first thing we're going to do is open up Task Manager. So the reason why I'm saying we're open Task Manager, we got to figure out what graphics card you have, whether it be NVIDIA or AMD. This tutorial is only realistically applicable to NVIDIA. AMD stuff, that's an own rabbit hole in itself that I don't know all the knowledge for currently. Now, when you open up Task Manager, it might look like mine, it might not. By default, it's going to look like this, and then you can expand it right here. Click it, and hit Performance. So when you open up Task Manager, go down to GPU 0. In this case, I have an RTX 3080. So remember what GPU you have before we go to NVIDIA. If not, just leave this open till we get there. So we're going to go to NVIDIA's website. So once we're at NVIDIA's website, we're going to click on the drivers once we open it up. All right, now that we're here to look at the NVIDIA website, open it up, and then you got drivers up here at the very top. Just click on the first link that shows up Google, which is this right here, where it says www.nvidia.com. So go to drivers. Now, what we're going to do is you have product category, all of these fun things right here. So remember how we were talking about this earlier? I have 3080. Your card's going to be different. Say 5070. You would select, product category GeForce. GeForce is always going to be applicable for all the consumer graphics cards. So if you had a 50 series card, you click 50 series. Say if you had a 5070, you would click at a 5070 and you do a Windows 11 or Windows 10, depending upon which version of Windows you have. In my case, we're going to do 30 series and a 3080 because that is what graphics card that I have. So 3080, Windows 11. And note, you always want the regular version, not the notebook version of those as well. The notebook ones are different. So in this case, a GeForce Game Ready driver. I already have this installed, but in this case, you would hit View. Then you would hit Download. And then it would start downloading from the top right. So when you hit Download, it should pop up a window that says this. And then says it downloads, and you can drop it in downloads wherever you prefer to have it, just so you can look at it very quickly. So in my case, I'm not going to download it because I already have it installed. Now, next, we're going to go to Tech Power Up and look for Nvcleaninstall. So we're going to go right here, first link, then hit download, then US5 or whichever one you choose, and then hit downloads right here. I already have it installed, so I'm not going to install it. So now that we have those two useful pieces of information, first we're going to go open Nvcleaninstall. After you install it out of your downloads, you can open it by searching it or clicking it this way. So now that I have it here, this right here is where my file is for the driver. In your case, you'd hit Browse, Downloads, or wherever you have the file, and go find it and click on it. So in my case, I'm going to click on this right here, hit Next. The only ones that realistically matter are Legacy, HDMI Audio, Microsoft C Visuals, and PhysX. PhysX is going to be hit or miss because not everybody's going to use PhysX. In my case, I will use it because I have a 30 series card that still has PhysX. If you have a 50 series card, you do not have the PhysX engine on the graphics card anymore. They get rid of it past 40 series. So hit Next. Then we'll wait for it to do its own thing and then let it go through and pop the menu up. All right, so you see the green bar going across, that's normal. Once that is finished, then once this finishes, it'll pop up in the menu where we can select the options in which we want to select beyond what we already selected prior. So in this case, disable multiplayer overlay is already checked because I check it every time. By default, it might be, but if it is not, disable multiplayer overlay, you need to check that. That is one thing I would always disable. Now you can open up this right here where it shows that show expert tweaks, and you can disable other things in here. The only thing I would really touch in here would be disable HTCP or the NVENC encoding session limit patch. That patch right there is more so useful for like a streaming PC than it would be a gaming PC, more so like in a production environment, because then it allows you to run multiple NVENC encode sessions beyond what the official limit is from NVIDIA per their encoder matrix. So in this case, we're going to hit disable HTTP if you do want it. And the only gripe of that is that if you screen share with a homie in Discord, like say you're watching Netflix or just want to chill with the boys, the homies in general, and watch a movie in Discord, like say one of y'all has Netflix, Disney Plus, whatever, you won't be able to do that because you have to have HTTP for the screen share to grab like a browser with whatever you have on it. Otherwise, it will not do it. So if you plan to do that or do that semi regularly, I would leave this off. So I'd leave it unticked. If you don't care, you can use it. But if you do care, then don't do it. Just do disable multi-plane overlay. So in this case, I'm just going to use this disable multi-plane overlay and then hit next. You have an option where you can either install it directly from Nvcleaninstall or you could build it. I normally build mine so you can just use it in time. So I'm going to hit build package, drop in my downloads. You can name it whatever you so like. I'm just going to label this no MPO and then hit save, and it's going to pop this one up and it's going to start recompiling the driver. This is normal as to what it's doing right here. It takes, however long it's going to take. Some systems it's quicker, some systems it's slower. Mine, it takes about 5 or 10 minutes, depending upon what I have open. So now we just wait for this to finish. All right, now this is about finished. Then once this is finished, it will pop up a window with File Explorer where you dump the driver to. And you can just run it from there and just right click run as administrator. So now just go wait for this to finish. All right, so now it's finished. It opens up File Explorer all off the rip. So you right click it. So if you don't have this menu by default, you have to show more options down here. I've changed this back to the old style context menu because the new one in 11 drives me insane. So you can hit run as administrator. Now it's going to pop the USC prompt, so it's going to black out OBS. So then you hit yes when it pops up. Yes, no, hit yes. And then he says, are you sure you want to install this driver? Then hit yes. And then you go through the setup in itself entirely. And then it's just going to load up and then it's going to do it. And then you run through the installer like normal. You can do a clean install or you can do an easy installation. I would do a clean and just reset up all your graphics settings and all that. So you do custom, advanced, next, and then next, and then everything else perform clean, hit next all the way. Do it. Now, I can't do it obviously in this recording because, well, then it will stop recording. So you just hit next, let it install. Mine's going to go black like they do usually. They flicker here and they flicker over here. Then they'll come back after the driver's finished. So once you have done that, then you will go back into the control panel and configure all the stuff you had set up there.